On today's video, we are going to discuss books, bench, and Billy. Welcome to Simple Sense for Small Business, common sense ideas to help you enjoy your business and not feel like you own a job. Mistakes that we have made and we've seen other people make. We have hundreds of videos on this channel. Learn about the fundamentals of running a business, inspire you whether you need to pivot, change your business, save your business, strategies for marketing. And if you're visiting from our other channel, EIDL Experts, special shout out to you and thank you for tuning in and subscribing. If you could help us grow this channel and hit the thumbs up. A couple of days ago, on the second day of summer, which was a Saturday, Linda Ray and I were out running errands, and I want to share with you very briefly on today's video 3 different businesses that we observed in how they were operating and marketing their business. The first is books, and that's Barnes & Noble. We had to run some errands. I don't know about where you live, but in our little country town here, we have to take our trash to the transfer station, colloquially known elsewhere as the dump. We took our trash to the transfer station, and then from there we needed to get a new blade put on our chainsaw because Linda Ray is a mad woman with the shrubs outside and the weeds and the brambles and the branches with her chainsaw. I personally do not use the chainsaw, and we had to visit our friend who's a former client who runs a sales and service center for lawn equipment and bring it over there to get the blade. We wanted to pop into the grocery store to pick up some groceries. In the retail shopping center where the grocery store is located, we had noticed about 6 weeks ago that the former store occupied by the Gap now had a sign that said, "Coming soon, Barnes & Noble." And here we are just 5, 6, 7 weeks later, and it's already up and running and open for business. With no real fanfare, it just appeared. So they did a fast setup to get that store opened. And in terms of marketing, I imagine they've done some advertising, but it's Barnes & Noble. So they're coming into this experience of opening a new store with a foundation, if you will, of reputation, branding, and those two things combined essentially become the marketing. Essentially, they really just needed to put a sign in the window that said, "Coming soon, Barnes & Noble." And that certainly got my attention because I'm a book lover. The takeaway, if you will, from our observation here is that the "coming soon, Barnes & Noble" was almost all the marketing they needed because of the deep branding effect of the name Barnes & Noble. And the location in a busy strip retail mall that has a grocery store, liquor store, a bank, a coffee place that will remain nameless because we don't support that coffee chain. Generally a large and very busy retail space. So that location combined with the deep brand recognition supports the whole simple marketing concept of coming soon. As we exited the parking lot and we're waiting at the traffic light, there's a busy main street, and across the road we saw a beautifully built teak bench. How did we know it was teak from all the way across the street? Well, it had a giant sign that looked like it was professionally printed that says "Teak Benches." And we could see in the parking lot behind the teak bench that the vendor had set up in that parking lot. It's probably during the week a busy medical practice, but on the weekends, it's closed. And this person had set up their van, their truck, with a whole bunch of teak benches. So the marketing was prominently displayed location, a sample of the work with the sign "Teak Bench." And if that caught your fancy, you'd run into the parking lot, and if you liked the benches, you'd buy one. This is a great example of what I call a simple business. Maybe it's a side hustle for this person where they can spend some time building these teak benches and then on a Saturday afternoon go out there at a prominent location with a simple sign. That's the marketing message, teak benches. set up in a parking lot and make a few dollars for their small business. Your marketing message there is the sign and the product, and the location, of course, is a key element because it's a very busy main street, and on a Saturday, a lot of traffic passing this location for people like us who are doing their Saturday errands. And I can imagine that this business, the cost probably for manufacturing these benches, assuming this person does it, kind of thing they do in a small workshop, maybe in their garage, is probably minimal cost because it's probably somebody who has serious carpentry experience, either as a craft and hobby or maybe as a profession. And then the revenue that could be generated from a simple 4 or 5 hour setup in a parking lot, it's a perfect example of a simple side hustle type of business. On the way home, as we're driving through the country to come back to our house, I noticed up ahead a guy on the left. We noticed someone in a pickup truck on the opposite traffic lane parked at a mailbox. Here in this part of Connecticut, all the mailboxes are out on the road, old-fashioned with the little flag that pops up if you have mail to go and the little door that flips open. And it was not a postal service truck, let's put it that way. And as we got even with the vehicle, we noticed a big sign on the, printed on the side of the pickup truck that said, Billy's Trees. So clearly this is a landscaping tree service. Here in Connecticut, trees are an issue because trees come down, take down power lines, take down the internet lines, and then you have no internet, you have no power. It's a real thing. I'm sure it's if you live in a somewhat rural area, or even if you live in Brooklyn. We saw a video last week of those windstorms and a giant tree coming down on top of a parked car in Brooklyn. I'm not sure if Billy's Tree Services does business in Brooklyn. In any event, it was clear that Billy must have had a flyer and was putting it in the mailbox. The marketing piece here is the flyer that goes into the mailbox and the branding marketing message on the side of the vehicle. This is a simple, direct marketing message. The flyer, the vehicle. More to the point, what Billy was doing, assuming that was Billy in the pickup truck, was doing the work of the marketing. To go back to the Barnes & Noble situation, putting out a sign in a window of a previous Gap location saying, coming soon, Barnes & Noble. That's the message and the work involved in that. Imagine what that is. Then there's the teak bench. The work involved in the marketing there is the sign and the location. And in the case of Billy, driving around rural Connecticut with his branded truck, doing the work necessary, there are 3 items I'd like you to consider as our conclusion for today's Simple Sense for Small Business video. Number 1, what is your marketing message? Barnes & Noble books, teak benches, Billy's trees. Can you express your marketing message in those very simple terms? That should be your first objective. Number 2, what are you willing to do to get the word out for your business? If you're Barnes & Noble with a deep brand recognition, what is the marketing department of that company doing? Again, there were probably local advertisements, but just the activity of putting a sign, coming soon, on a vacant storefront as they develop that storefront, or developing a sign that goes on the teak bench and the location of that prominently displayed out on a busy main street, or Billy driving around rural Connecticut putting flyers in mailboxes in a pickup truck that is clearly branded with the message and the phone number for the business. What are you willing to do to get the marketing message out there? And number 3 in the conclusion and the takeaway in today's Simple Sense for Small Business is do the work. Time and again, Linda Ray and I have seen small business owners fail to dedicate enough time, energy, and occasionally money to market their business. People cannot find you if they don't know you exist. You have got to get the message out there. Click on the link in the description if you'd like our free guide on some simple ideas on how you can quickly get marketing messages out there about your business. I'm Trevor, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. If you could take a moment, if you found value in this video, hit the thumbs up and tell YouTube to share this video with other small business owners just like you. And please consider subscribing to the channel. We have hundreds of videos here to help you out with your small business. Thanks for tuning in.